Good morning, BJ here. It's still morning time, so been drinking some coffee. And I'll talk about, I want to talk about self doubt. Sometimes when we're in the woodworking shop and we're doubting ourselves, trying to put something together, think we're not smart enough, or it could be in everyday life. I'm just bringing up the wood shop, but you could just wake up in life like, I doubt so many things sometimes, and you know, it's inside here. You don't, and you got to push past that. You know, First off, if you're in the wood shop and you can't figure something out or something's not going right, take a break, but don't give up. You got to keep pushing through that. I mean, some people get it, some people don't, some people make it, some people it takes longer. The accomplishment you'll feel inside when something is done in your heart after you fought for it and you push through it is 10 times better. And I don't care if you have a hammer and you have a screwdriver and you have a handsaw and you're working at getting more things together, and you have an idea of making crosses, or you have an idea of making little kids trucks or something like that. So it's whatever's in your mailboxes, birdhouses. It doesn't matter. And things aren't going the way you want it to. Well, sometimes in life, things just don't go the way you want them to. You've got to fight for it. Some people don't have to. Everything's just spoon fed for them, and a rough day for them could be their car doesn't start and the person that's going to come replace their battery for them is busy, and then they're just screaming, or that's neither here nor there. You need to get that unworthiness out and keep going. Sometimes you need to take a break. You need to back off if you're doing the same thing wrong, if you can't dial something in. But everyone has it. Everyone has that self-worth, and you need to fight through it. You just need to just keep pushing. And the harder the fight and the more you get the accomplishment out of it, the better you're going to feel inside. Also, I want to mention I belong to some woodworking groups on Facebook, and woodworking for beginners, the woodworking group. It takes courage to post there, just to ask a question. It takes courage to make things and post it. People are so online. People are so mean and so cruel that it could hurt. It could hurt. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I take criticism poorly. I mean, and I can tell you that it depends. Now, when I say I take criticism poorly, I take criticism better from people who can create things and know what they're talking about. But I've been on Facebook, in a group where people have said something, and I click on their name. They don't post anything, and they've never made anything. So I can have somebody say, I've been a woodworker I've been a woodworker for 35 years, and this blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't matter what they say. Now, wow, if they've been a woodworker for 35 years, you could learn a lot. You click on their name, they've never posted anything, they've never made anything. And I will call them out on that. I click on your name, you never even made a post. It's funny, because this is what I'll tell people. You criticize and you put people down. I believe in this world, we lift each other up. We could get so much better in this world if people did not make themselves feel better by putting other people down. That makes no sense. There's something not clicking right where they have to feel better about themselves by being terrible to other people. If you do that, there is something literally wrong with you. That doesn't help. That doesn't help one bit. I lost my train of thought for a second there about that. What I think when people do that, they don't have anything better going on in their lives. Here you are, worried about your self-worth. And you could ask a question, and if somebody says something, you always remember click on their name, if they've never made a post, I will literally tell people when they post a question and they'll say, hey, this might be a stupid question. I'm a beginner. It's not. There is no stupid question. You're a beginner. You're trying to learn something, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're trying to keep pushing forward, to do something new, to learn something. And people who are going to say something mean and nasty. Now, the criticism comes in for when you click on their name, if they've got many years experience and they're making chairs and they're making, handmade furniture and they're making guitars and they're molding wood, you know what I mean? And that's they're the people to listen to. It's when you have these people saying mean things. I literally will laugh sometimes when I'm reading people in the comment section that they don't even, I call them comment nippers. Okay, so I'll give an example. A person makes a post about a trim gun, and I give my opinion about their trim gun. Someone comes right down to my comment and says, well, you're wrong. The trim gun you suggested is blah, 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 blah. They didn't. They came down to my comment and they commented off my comment to me, but they didn't go to Michael, the original post guy, and give him any input. I have an issue sometimes with that because I'll tell them that, hey, so-and-so, I see that I'm not the one asking. This is my recommendation. This is what I'm recommending to this guy. He doesn't have to take my advice. Here you are, but I'm looking down all the comments. I don't see you contributing to this person's post. As a matter of fact, I see you going down the list and nailing every commenter and giving your comment to someone who commented, but you're not giving your input to the person who made the post. I'm telling you this because if you're on Facebook and this happens to you a lot, don't pay attention. I would say, so-and-so, I'm glad you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way about my advice, but why don't you give your advice to the person who made the post? And when you walk away from this and you're there and you're like, what, why would this person, because people just yap. And that hurts you on the inside. That could bring down your self-worth. There's nothing worse than you can't come up with an angle, or you can't come up with something and then you ask and people are just nailing you. You'll get some really good answers, but you will get some cruel and some mean ones. And some people, if they get the wrong answer at the wrong time, they just give up. And I don't think that's fair. I knew this person, and I'm just different. A long time ago, I try to not say people's names or relations about them because it's not fair. You just don't do that. This is public, so it's me. It's not fair. I don't like to do that. But I remember being with this person. We were talking when he was in college. He had a rich person friend, or maybe it was in his dorm. Or the moral of the story is he couldn't open up a can of paint. And my friend was like, so-and-so, the guy couldn't open up a can of paint. Well, did you show him? No. He's a rich little brat. His parents had everything done for him. I'm not showing him. Why? It's a flathead screwdriver. You should show him how to open a can of paint. You should show him how to stir it. You should show him how to add it to a paintbrush. You should show him how to put it on a wall. We need to lift each other up. Why is it stepping on everybody? I don't get it. I'm going to step over that person. If you're trying to climb a ladder to get somewhere in life so you can have more money, whatever. I'm just talking about the basic decency sometime of just woodworking or anything else we're doing. The moral of the story is, if you get bad advice from one person or one person makes you feel bad, then move past it. You could always delete the post. You could always, you could just delete that post, delete the comments. Don't quit the group. Stay with the group. Stay with it. Don't give up that easy. But if you're asking a question, you feel bad about something, and you're not getting the answers that you want, and everybody, usually the administrators will come in and they'll stop it. And this is just, sometimes people ask questions. Sometimes people are just really just making up fake questions. So, but I would suggest if you're getting into woodworking, you do belong. You do join a Facebook group. There are local places that maybe in your area, I'm not sure. Woodcraft and Rockler, they have sometimes some educational things. If you can't figure something out, maybe you could go to the stores. Maybe you could get some advice from someone, but I get off a little bit on a tangent. I drift to another, and I do that when I've had a coffee but I am a talker. Sometimes I can just talk, but the moral of the story is your self-worth, pushing past it, and doing the best you can, and trying to uplift other people also. I would also suggest that, there's nothing wrong with spreading good in the world. I'm not telling you to walk around with your wallet and hand people money, but there's nothing wrong with giving somebody a lift up rather than a push down, so it makes you feel good inside. And maybe you do it more when we're older. I doubt anybody young is listening to this video. They probably gave up. No one will ever see this. It doesn't matter. Makes me feel like I accomplished something today, even though I've got a lot of stuff to run around and do as the clock's ticking. I already know 3 different places I've got to run to, so I'm gonna get out of here and stop my rambling, blah 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 blah, and try to go make something happen. Because today's a good day. It's beautiful outside. Live your life. Go have fun. Take care, people.